Live from Carver Arena in the Peoria Civic Center, 25 Sports brings you Bradley basketball. Today, the Warriors of Marquette challenge the Braves. This game is being brought to you by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. By Methodist Medical Center of Illinois. We're here to help. By McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. By University Ford, the only 5-star dealer in Central Illinois. By Counter, your best corn insecticide. Put your money where your crop is. Use Counter. By North Point Video. Welcome to Carver Arena and Bradley's first matinee performance of the season. Today, the Braves play the Marquette Warriors. Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Strauss, along with Lee Hall. What do you think of when you hear the word Marquette? Tradition? Al McGuire, perhaps? And Lee, probably teams that play very good defense.
That's right, Mark. We're going to see a good game today. Marquette's probably the best defensive team Bradley's played this year. And the way Bradley's running their break, this ought to go down to the wire. We hope to see a good one here today.
Marquette won its first 4 games and then lost the other night at Northwestern. The Braves have won 2 in a row. We'll be right back with a starting lineup in just a minute. Just like the Braves, Marquette has a new head coach. And his name rhymes with Marquette. It's Bob Duquette, the Boston College graduate who comes to Milwaukee from St. Peter's College in New Jersey. And he's considered one of the great defensive coaches in the country. In fact, twicely his teams have led the nation in defense. That's at St. Peter's.
That's right, in 1980 and 86. So far, Marquette has given up 65.6 points a game. And there you see Coach Dick Van Sy at the manual talking to Coach Duquette. Maybe putting in a few good words for some of his guys. But that's right, Marquette is going to be probably, as we said earlier, the best defensive team Bradley has played so far. And they're, of course, a familiar face, Rudy Keeling.
And Rudy, we will hear from at halftime, coming back to his old stomping grounds where he coached at Bergen and assisted here at Bradley for such a long time. And Rudy admits it's going to be a weird feeling this afternoon to look down on that other bench and see the kids that he recruited. Now, he so often is out recruiting against Bradley.
I talked to Coach Duquette earlier this morning, and the comment he made was, I hope Rudy brings as good a players to Marquette for me as he did to Bradley, because he's got some good guys down here on this bench.
Dan Albeck knew he would be on television today. Look at the new perm.
Yeah, he got a new haircut during the week. Doing a few commercials this week.
We joke a little bit about the fact that Rudy Keeling runs up against kids who are considering Bradley, but it is a serious problem for both of these schools because so often they do find that they are meeting head-to-head in the recruiting battle. And so that makes this a big game for both of these schools because Marty Gillespie says that there are 4 kids that Bradley is interested in who are up in the Milwaukee area and who will see this game.
Well, there's no doubt kids around the Midwest, especially around here and in Wisconsin, consider both of these schools, and they're both great schools.
And now we're set for the starting lineup here at Carver Arena between the Braves, who are 2-3, and Marquette, 4-1. The folks here at Carver Arena awaiting the announcement. And for Marquette, their star player, David Boone, who led the team in scoring a year ago and is doing the same once again this season. For the Braves, Donald Powell, the junior at 6'8" from Nowata, Oklahoma, averaging over 20 points a game and leading the team in rebounding. Mike Flory starting at forward and starting to play at his 3rd school as a collegiate player. He's 6'5", 210 from Rhinelander. Jerry Thomas gets the start at forward in place of Paul Wilson. Wilson missed Thursday and yesterday's practices because of the flu, so Thomas gets the call instead. We'll see how that affects the Braves. Tom Popa, a great high school football player, a pretty good center for Marquette, the senior from Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Luke Jackson will be matched with him, the freshman from Springfield, Illinois, originally from Webb, Mississippi.
That's going to be a good matchup, Mark, the senior against the freshman. Mo McCone says that they're pretty evenly balanced inside.
Michael Pop Sims
from Grand Rapids, Michigan, averaging 17.2 points per game, starting in the backcourt. And Trevor Trimpe, who played a little point guard in last week's game against Northern Illinois, will start in the backcourt today. The fabulous freshman, Tony Smith, from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, already averaging 10 points a game as a first-year player. And this man, Percy Hawkins, the junior from Chicago, who is leading the Braves in scoring with 27 points per game. So those are the lineups. As Bob Duquette talks it over with one of his assistant coaches, and we'll see how the matchup stacks up right after this. Welcome back to Carver Arena, and we're just about set for the opening tip-off. The officials today, George Solomon of Detroit, Mike Nevin of Minnesota, and Danny Friend of Wheeling, Illinois, and they are all from the Big Ten. Here we go. Tom Topa with the beard. Donald Powell to your left. Ready for the opening tip, and we're underway here at Carver Arena, and it's tipped out of bounds. And they will try it a second time. McDonald won that one, but official apparently didn't see it. And this time the Braves get it clean, and Trevor Trimpe will run the ball club. They looked their best last week, perhaps of the season, when he was running the point against Northern Illinois. Mike Flory trying to steal it away from him, holds it high and gives it up to Powell. Standing on the far sideline, now it's Trimpe. Flory wearing Trimpe down early, off Jerry Thomas's hands, and out of bounds.
Marquette opening in a man-to-man. They're going to try and really pressure Bradley. Mo McCone and I went up and watched Northwestern and Marquette the other night. And they played some zone, they played some man-to-man. They might be better in the man-to-man.
This is Tony Smith with the ball. Now Mike Flory from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Pop Sims in the corner, having a terrific year. Marquette will take their time. They do not run like the Braves do, and they don't want to run like the Braves do. Here's Flory, wide open, hits it. So Marquette draws first blood almost a full minute into the ball game. Trimpe across the line. Flory picking him up on that tough man-to-man. Jerry Thomas with the ball, trying to work free. Cannot. So he gives it back to Trimpe. Inside Powell, and he's fouled as he goes up underneath. Donald Powell shot 9 free throws against Northern Illinois last week, and he's become very good at getting to the free throw line.
He came off a couple of bad games, bad game against Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, and Long Beach State. He came out kind of with a little fire in his eye last week. I think we might see the same this week.
Powell coming into the ball game, averaging 20.8 points per game, and the Braves are on the scoreboard. It took him 1 minute, 8 seconds to do it.
Mark, we want to remind everyone this Bradley telecast is protected by broadcast rights granted by Bradley University and the Missouri Valley Conference. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use without the express written consent of WEEK and Bradley University is prohibited.
So we're tied with 18:50 to go in the first half. Michael Pop Sims to Flory. Up top, David Boone. He's their big man. Working it underneath is Sims, and Powell backs it out of bounds. The Braves played great defense last week against Northern. They'll have to do it again against this club. A year ago when these teams played, the Braves won it 66-64 at the Mecca in Milwaukee in a game that was loaded with great defense. Tony Smith drives on Thomas, goes up with a shot, and is fouled from behind. So Jerry Thomas already making an impression in the ball game, but not the one he wanted to.
Well, JT took kind of a winter vacation when we were out in California. He didn't play either game, and the coaches think that woke him up, and he's playing a little bit better now. And they're getting more of the effort they want from him.
Smith is hitting 84% from the free throw line. What a great all-around athlete he is. He was a state triple jump champion in Wisconsin twice. He can high jump 6'6". So while he's playing guard, you better watch. He likes to go up in a crowd. 4-2 Marquette. Here's Thomas. Turns and hits. And we're tied again.
Shrimpy trying to take the ball away, fouls Flory instead. Mike Flory started his career at Colorado. Then he transferred to Ellsworth Junior College in Iowa, and I guess his school of the year now is Marquette.
It's an interesting matchup, Flory and Shrimpy, because they're a lot alike. They both shoot left-handed. They're about the same size. Flory might be a little quicker than Trevor.
Tie ball game, 4 apiece with 18 minutes to play in the first half. Pop Sims in front of the Bradley bench, up top to Mike Flory. Now Sims moves on Hawkins, inside Copa. First time he's handled the ball, and he drops it. Not good miss for a former tight end there by Tom Copa. Braves with a chance to take their first lead as Shrimpy dribbles into the front court against Mike Flory, who he's been wearing like a shirt. Hawkins with no place to go, outside to Shrimpy for the three-pointer. And a load of folks underneath. Let's see what the call is. It's against Marquette. And it's against Tom Copa. It'll be Braves ball out of bounds. Bob Duquette motioning for his defense. 1 year at St. Peter's, his team's allowed only 50 points a game. He's a great coach of defense. Luke Jackson with a turnaround. Powell off balance, and Jerry Thomas backs the rebound out of bounds.
Stan Albeck's still not upset, though. He likes that. The Braves are showing they're quicker, and they can jump better than Marquette inside. Bradley's a little bit taller, and Copa just had a terrible rebounding game. In fact, he had a terrible game all around at Northwestern. There you see him taking a breather. He didn't hit any shots against Northwestern. In fact, he was 0 for 4 from the field, 7 rebounds, but not really indicative of the effort he had.
Apparently that performance and his one today so far has cost him because he's out of the lineup as Marquette scores. Tony Smith getting the basket. Now it's blocked at the other end by Tony Reeder just into the ball game. And Powell dominates the boards and got 3 tries and scores. We're tied at 6. Powell has the first 4 for Bradley. Here's Flory at the foul line. Feeds to Reeder, banks it in. Marquette back on top. Copa getting set to check back in for Marquette, so he was merely getting a little instruction on the sideline. Shrimpy off balance, hanging job, doesn't go. David Boone with a rebound. He's leading the team in that department. Pop Sims doesn't pop. And this is what Marquette will do time and again. They will not force the shot.
No, they'll take the break. Coach Duquette said earlier today that he likes to take the break just as much as anybody else, but he's not going to force anything. They're going to work for a good shot.
Boone forced Luke Jackson to foul him. And that'll put David Boone at the foul line. He was in the act of shooting. Sometimes, as the old saying goes, you have to take a step backwards to take 2 forward, and that's what David Boone did. He was originally recruited by the University of San Francisco, after which that school dropped its program. So he enrolled at St. Mary's College in California as he hits the first free throw, and then later transferred to here at Marquette. So things have worked out for the best for David Boone, who is averaging 17.6 points per game and hits both free throws. And Marquette has taken a 4-point lead. And Copa checks back in, and Boone takes a breather. So he did his job for the time being. And it looks like the bench will be a little deeper today for Marquette. They're going to keep those guys fresh. Paul Wilson did not start today because of that flu. And so we don't even know if we'll see him at all. Braves trail by 4, 16-10 to play in the half. Thomas with the jump, rims out. He stole it and scored. Nice job by Jerry Thomas, who took it right out of Reeder's hand.
Sports psychology isn't exactly my forte, but if you pay much attention, you're going to see that his feet in California is helping him a lot on the floor back here in Peoria.
Luke Jackson in early foul trouble, his second as he bumped into Big Tom Copa. And now Jerry Thomas is wondering whether or not they should perhaps change matchup. We'll see if they do. Flory will inbound underneath the bucket. Into Copa, almost stolen by Thomas. Copa looking for the foul, didn't get it. And now Sims holds up his hand indicating a set play. They double team Flory. Out to Sims, who drives the foul line and gives it up. Flory wide open for the three-pointer. It's good. And it's 13-8. 5 points for Flory.
The Braves are sitting back in a 2-3 zone, daring them to shoot over it, and Flory's shown some...
Now it's stolen by Tony Smith, and here comes Flory with no one in front of him, and he scores. And Marquette has opened up a 15-8 lead. Sims nearly poked it away. Powell holds it high to Thomas outside the three-point line. Luke with the turnaround. No good. Thomas fights for the rebound, but Tony Reeder comes up with it. Ahead to Sims, running and having it blocked away by Hersey Hawkins. Back come the Braves. He slipped and traveling stalled. Looks like he hit a wet spot. 14:36 to play in the first half. And Marquette leads 15-8. We'll be right back. It's always unfortunate when this happens. The bright side is Hersey Hawkins didn't get hurt.
Well, you're always kind of leery of seeing Hersey handle the ball, but he did a good job there, and it just had a bad break. Later on in the game, we're going to name a North Point Video and Plaza Video Bradley player of the game. North Point and Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund, so we'll keep our eye out for a good performance from somebody on Bradley. They're going into a little bit of a full-court press, it looks like.
Marquette on top by 7. It's not that they're playing that much better, but apparently they're shooting much better than the Braves.
Marquette can't miss. They're 5 of 5 from the field, 4 from two-point land, 1 from beyond the red stripe, so they are hot.
And the Braves have only hit 3 of 9 so far, so Marquette is perfect, and they have the ball. Anthony Manuel into the game, watching Pop Sims. Now it's Copa. Up top, Smith. Back to Copa, way out of his range. Copa inside, blocked by Powell, his 12th of the year, and here come the Braves. Hawkins dropped it for a minute, had the shot. Tony Smith picks him up. It's Trimpey wide open. Didn't get the three-pointer. So Marquette with a chance to go up by 9 here. Boone in 3. Luke Jackson all alone. Anthony Manuel hasn't scored a point since December 3rd, but he's averaging almost 4 assists a game. That's why he's in there.
And this is why we're going to see him play a little bit more. They want to pick up the tempo a little bit. They're down now. They want to force things, but move the ball up the floor, and that's what Anthony is best at.
Boone doesn't have the shot. Doesn't have it this time either, but Smith does, and he misses. Trevor Trimpey with the rebound ahead to Manuel. Fasten your seatbelt. Hawkins with the long jumper, got it. It's always interesting to watch a team try to run on a team that hates to run.
Marquette will take a break if it's there. They don't hate, I wouldn't say they hate to run. Coach Duquette said he likes to run as much as any other coach, but nobody likes to run as much as Stan Albeck, of course.
Hawkins runs out of bounds, chasing the ball, and Marquette will retain possession. Now Copa takes a seat, and Mike Flory back into the lineup for Marquette. So Sims and Smith in the backcourt. Flory and Boone are the forwards, and Reeder, the junior at 6'6", playing center.
Bradley back in a man-to-man.
Sims in front of the Bradley bench. Manuel picks him up. Reeder, double team, goes up anyway and misses. And a whistle underneath, and a foul against Marquette. Mike Flory walks away with his first. 12:25 to go in the first half, and the Braves are within 3 points. That's one shot. Hopefully, as Stan Albeck stands in front of us.
You saw down low on that play, Mark, exactly what they did so well last week. They get the ball in low, Bradley doubles and shuts them off with a good shot.
Luke Jackson. print the word freshman with a question mark next to it by his name in the program because he's not playing like one. Here's David Boone. A little long with the shot. And here come the Braves. They're down by one. They're up by one. Donald Powell on the board with 6 points. And Marquette says, boys, let's talk it over. It's Bradley 16, Marquette 15. The Braves have scored 8 straight and will be right back. With 14:36 left to go in the first half, Marquette led 15-8. With 11:42 left, only 2 minutes and 56 seconds later, Bradley leads 16-15.
The defensive pressure is turning into some offense for Bradley. They're doubling down low. They're anticipating passes. They're rebounding well, and they're getting out on the break. That's one thing Coach Duquette was wary of this morning when I spoke with him. He said, we've got to make our shots. Now, they came out hot and made 5 of 5, but they've missed a few. And if they're not making the shots, Bradley's going to run. And that's not something he wants to see.
They keep Manuel in the ball game. They got hot while he was there. Here's Flory for Marquette. The Braves on top, 16-15. Smith without a shot. Sims from three-point range rolls in. Now the Braves throw it away. Trippy recovers to Powell. He has 8 points.
Trevor just about got his dental work rearranged, so it turned into a good play. He and Anthony slapped 5 at midcourt. Good play.
Flory wants the three-pointer, and he throws it away. Here's Manuel on the steal. Hawkins stepped on the end line, and the basket would not have counted had Luke Jackson been able to sink it. The other night against Northwestern, and I know you went up to Evanston to watch the game, Marquette turned the ball over 21 times.
And they turned it over a lot late in the game when they really couldn't afford to. One thing we might look for, Top Sims will have a good shot in the key, and he'll pass it up maybe to hit Boone inside. Now, they were playing against the zone, so it's a little bit different. One thing I wanted to point out, Mark, on that last play, you saw why Anthony Manuel is not playing as much as maybe he'd like to. Good anticipation, stole the pass, but made a bad pass to the other end. Hawk really didn't have a shot down there. He was too low.
John Ellenson into the ball game for Marquette. He's 6'6", a freshman from Menominee, Wisconsin. Replaced Reeder. Boone inside is hit by Trimpey, and Trimpey says, no, you got it wrong. It was the other way around. But the official says, it doesn't matter what you think, and it's Trimpey's second foul.
Trevor might have got the call had he not been moving because Boone did force the issue there. If Trevor would have been set, he might have got the call. Looks like we got the biggest crowd of the year here so far, Mark.
Boone had it slapped away. Sims recovers. The score tied 18 apiece with 10:22 to play in the first half at Carver Arena. The Braves and Marquette were just getting started. Here's Flory from the corner. Got it. They're shooting well. The Hawk goes all the way, but he charged. I'm curious if that was before or after. And Stan Olbeck is about to lose that turn or tear it out. Here's the play. Let's take a look and see if it was before or after he shot it.
I don't think he was set before Hawk went up.
But it was before the shot nonetheless. Ball thrown away by Marquette as they continue to handle it badly. And the Braves get it back, trailing 20-18. Manuel in the ball game, running the point right now. With Trimpey, Hawkins, Powell, and Luke Jackson.
Marquette has dropped back into their 1-2-2 zone. Saw this against Northwestern.
Powell with a turnaround mishandled the ball, or he would have had the shot, but he's fouled on the play, and Donald Powell continues to be the master of the deception.
Draws a lot of fouls, doesn't he?
Fouls on Michael Pops Sims. No one at Marquette seems to know where he got the nickname Pops from. I talked to one of the announcers at Marquette, and he says it's certainly not because of his shot.
But see, there's where you're wrong. See, announcers don't know anything.
Thanks.
You got to talk to the cheerleaders. Apparently he averages... I talked to the guys, all right? He apparently averaged about 21 points a game in high school. And apparently they tease him about his shot now because it's kind of gone downhill since then.
But Donald Powell still remains great at the free throw line. He has 10 points.
There's something we haven't seen from Bradley so far this season, at least in a game, a 2-2-1 zone press, full court.
Ball stolen away. Hawkins doesn't have the shot. Now he hits one. 22-20. Bradley leads, and Hersey Hawkins, averaging 27 a game, has but 4 so far. He doesn't care as long as the Braves have more than Marquette. Not anymore, they don't. Boone cans the push. And John Ellenson pushes Hawkins out of bounds. You don't have to be an official to call that one.
No, and it wasn't an intentional foul. Hawkins so quick. He's almost ruining his position on the break. He's so far down court that by the time he gets the ball, he's almost under the basket. Can't really get a decent shot.
Manuel. Almost. Maybe you could hear Stan Albeck yell, take it, as soon as he got the ball.
You'd like to draw him out of that zone, I imagine.
This is Tony Smith operating on Hawkins for Marquette. Almost found his way to the basket, and if I'm not mistaken, the last 3 times down the floor, Marquette's turned it over.
And Luke Jackson's been on at least 2 or 3 of those. You know, he's second on the team in steals. He's tied for second with 6 steals, and he's 6'8". He's doing a lot of little things. He's inconsistent because he's a freshman, but he's doing a lot of little things to help out.
He's so big he can't help but get in the way of the ball. Speaking of big, Tom Topol will check in soon for Marquette. Braves tied with the Warriors, 22 apiece. Inside Manuel, gives it up to Trimpe, didn't have the shot. Now to Hawkins for the 3, no good. Powell up in a crowd. Rebound Jackson. 6 points, and all 6 impressively done. Sims lost the ball again. 4th straight turnover for Marquette. Spinning move to Powell, but he traveled. Anthony getting a little bit too fancy.
But it was smart, though. He knew he didn't have the break. He was like 1-on-2, and he stopped, and he got it back. So that is at least a smart move there.
And we'll make a turnover, too. We'll turn it over to a commercial and be right back.
Coming up later on WEEK, after our exciting Bradley basketball game, a battle for the playoffs. Denver would like to take the AFC West title. The Seattle Seahawks a slim chance for a wild card. That's coming up after the basketball game, right here on WEEK, the best seat in the house, not only for Bradley basketball, but for the NFL.
You know, I'm just noticing that Stan Albeck has that little diagram there that he's holding, and it doesn't have a 3-point line on it.
He knows where it is. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just by intuition.
The Braves, by the way, since we bring that up, are shooting 30% on 3-pointers coming into the ball game. They haven't hit one today. But they are on top, 24-22 with 7:50 to play in the half. This is Tom Topa back into the ball game. So Marquette has Topa, Flory, Reeder, Boone, and Michael Pop Sims. Flory right in front of Albeck, passes up the 3-point shot. Now he takes one, but he's standing on the line. Wouldn't have been for 3. Rebound tipped around, and Luke Jackson comes down with it to Anthony Manuel.
Marquette back in a man-to-man now.
Trimpe to Hawkins. Wide open, drive, scoop move, but he charged. That's Hersey's second foul of the game. And for Bradley,
Hersey has 2.
there's 6. So the next one will put Marquette into the bonus.
And here you see it again. At the shoot-around this morning, Bob Duquette said, take the charge on Hersey. He's going to try and drive to the basket, take the charge. And they're doing it so far. That's his 2 fouls, a charging foul. You got up that early? Believe it or not. He thought I was a custodian, though, because I didn't get dressed up to come down here. Actually, I didn't even look that good.
Marquette looking to tie. Flory hits it, and they've done it.
6:50 to play in the first half, and the game's tied. And Mike Flory, who you probably never heard of before today, leads the Warriors with 11 points. He didn't play for them last year. Pat Foley filled that other spot that he's in. He's on the bench, however. Here's Hawkins, back to Manuel. Sims almost stole it, knocked it out of bounds instead.
There we saw the one thing that scared Momacone the most as we drove back from Evanston the other night. Hop Sims, quick hands.
Percy Hawkins, though, isn't quick enough that time, and Marquette has the ball.
Well, he got bumped out of bounds, too.
And that's what his dispute is. He said, I was bumped into the ball. It should be a foul. So Marquette now, with Tide last trip up the floor, can take the lead. Copa inside, runs into Hawkins and loses the ball. Here comes Manuel, flying up the floor. Puts it up. Misses. And the ball is swatted out of bounds. Last touch.
Nobody knows.
They can't decide, so on the alternating possession, Marquette gets the ball, and Stan Albeck is about to be heard from.
This possession, Marquette. Alternating jump ball, this possession to Marquette.
While we got a little bit of a lull, Mark, we'd like to express our condolences to the family of WEEK-TV employee Al Mark. Death in the family. Again, we'd like to express our condolences. Al worked the instant replay for us on our game. So our condolences go out to them today.
This is Flory, just inside the line. To Reeder, the high shot. Flory rebound, reverse layup good. And Marquette takes the lead, 26-24. Flory with 13 points. He's only averaging 9.6 a game, so he's above that. Luke Jackson on the post, not on the money. Rebound taken down by Flory. He's on both ends. 5.5 minutes to play in the half. Marquette with a 2-point lead. Copa. Long pass to Powell. He has a dozen. And we're tied again. Copa out of his range. Powell guards him. Long pass to Boone, almost out of bounds.
I had that one.
Marquette very deliberate, very disciplined, and Copa misses the close shot. And Jerry Thomas into the ball game gives Luke Jackson a rest. Thomas was in the starting lineup today, and apparently we won't see Paul Wilson this afternoon. We haven't seen him yet. We mentioned twice already that he didn't start today because he missed practice Thursday and yesterday with the flu, and that's a big loss because he scored 18 and 19 points in his last two ball games.
Apparently he started feeling ill on Wednesday, didn't practice the last 2 days, but I talked to him before the game. He felt fine. Of course, he missed practice, so that's probably why he's not playing.
Percy Hawkins feels great. 6 points for him. And a 2-point lead for Bradley. A good close ball game will get him feeling better in no time. He'll want to come in. Tony Smith takes the drive. Powell right on him. Hawkins picks up Sims. The bounce to Boone. Lost it. Back to Sims outside the 3-point line. Doesn't take it. Here's Boone in a crowd. Powell with a rebound. The pass to Manuel. And a whistle on Tony Smith. So Marquette didn't do well at all that time. Pop Sims wound up on the ground, and Smith wound up with a foul. And John Ellenson comes in for that man, David Boone.
Marquette's being plagued by a problem that's haunted them so far this year. They don't score. They lost their scorers from last year, except for Boone. And the ball's not going down for him. Bradley's going to take the break, and Bradley's doing an excellent job on the boards. You've got to commend him on that so far.
Anthony Manuel at the free throw line with his first point since December the 3rd. He had 16 at Long Beach, and he hadn't scored until now. But that's not necessarily why he's in. There's Bob Duquette. He looks a little like Chevy Chase. 30-26 in favor of Bradley. Braves trying to steal one. Flory gets it across the line, and they put on the pressure. And Thomas runs right into John Ellenson. That's Thomas's second. Marquette's in the bonus, and they're in the 1-1 also.
He's eager. He's maybe a little too eager on that one.
Some of the folks who help bring us Bradley basketball are the folks at Coors, our friends at Methodist Medical Center, McDonald's, University Ford, Counter Corn Insecticide, North Point Video of Peoria, and Plaza Video of Morton. As John Ellenson sinks the first free throw, the Illinois State Lottery, and Cohen Furniture Company. Our thanks to them for helping us get these Bradley telecasts on the air. Ellenson 2 for 2 at the line, and Marquette within 2 with 3:47 to play in the half. It's a 30-28 Braves lead. So they stick to you like glue.
They do. One thing Mo mentioned the other night, you got to watch that 5-second count because they are a second skin almost. They're on you so tight, and that 5-second count is always a factor.
Thomas with the jumper that's no good, doesn't even hit the rim. Manuel hustles after it. Hawkins goes up inside, a rebound, and a foul on Tony Reeder. And Bob Duquette, the master of defense.
Well, this time it's on 33, Tony Reeder, his first.
Can't complain because that's exactly where he wanted his man. That's the first foul against Reeder, incidentally. And here's Hawkins at the free throw line, where this year he's hitting 82.9%. The last time the Braves played Marquette, which was December 7th of last year, Hawkins was the Braves' leading scorer with 23 points. And he went 10 for 16 from the field that night. They put the Braves up by 4. And 32-28, 8 points for Hershey Hawkins. The Braves put the pressure on. Flory gets it front court to Tony Smith. Here's Smith wide open, didn't take the shot.
Braves in a 2-3 zone.
Ellenson at the foul line, doesn't take it. They're open, they're looking for something better. 2:48 to play in the half. Braves 32, Marquette 28. Sims calls the play. And Marquette tries to run it, but Hawkins got a piece of it. And the ball is thrown into the leg of Trevor Trimpe. And while that may not appear to be all that bad, it allows the officials to put another 45 seconds on the shot clock, and that's what the Braves didn't want because they'd wound it down quite a bit. Drive, Flory shoots and misses. Trimpe on the rebound, and here come the Braves, leading by 4. Thomas and Powell couldn't get it done.
Donald had that one to do over again. He might bring it down and try and go back up, maybe draw a foul. He caught the ball off balance.
2 minutes left to go. Marquette probably thinks that they're getting a 2-minute warning, and they'll try to waste the clock until then, the way they're playing. Smith's open so much that he has to take the shot this time, and we get a whistle underneath against the Warriors. And Tom Topa will check back in for Marquette.
The thing we're seeing, Mark, against Northwestern, their zone gave Marquette fits. They really didn't get a good shot in the final minutes when the game was close. They would work the ball around, try and force it inside, and wouldn't shoot the long shot. They only shot one 3-point shot in the entire game, and that was as time was running out. So that's definitely what Mo McCone has on his mind.
The foul was against David Boone, his second, and Donald Powell steps up to the free throw line with a string of 13 in a row.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I guess I'm responsible. You see that everywhere, though, the heck. I believe in it. Sims misses. Smith does too. Boone goes up, lost the ball, so did Flory, but he was fouled. And now here's Paul Wilson finally checking in for Bradley. And I have a feeling that the tempo may pick up. Hawkins takes a seat on the bench. The foul was on Anthony Manuel, and Mike Flory will step up to the free throw line. So the Braves have Wilson, Trimpey, Powell, Jerry Thomas, and Anthony Manuel in the ball game. We're going to get a chance to see just how well Paul Wilson feels with Manuel, Wilson, and JT in there. This is a running lineup. A minute and a half to play in the half. Flory cuts the lead to 2, 32-30, and he has 15 of the 30 for Marquette. Trippy inside, nice job. He looks like he's going to pass. He doesn't even look at the basket, and then he goes right back down the middle. If you can get past Sims, that zone is kind of wide open as they play on the blocks of the lane. Flory bounces.
One minute in this half.
Flory with a three-pointer. Got it. And Marquette within a point. And now with 50 seconds to go in the half, with a chance to take the lead. The Braves have had it since 11:42 to go in this half. If Flory keeps shooting that well, he's gonna force them out of the zone. Sims won't take the shot, but Flory will. Did Coble play that far outside against Northwestern the other night? No, he just... I understand why he is now, but almost every trip up the floor earlier, he's been well out of the spot that you figure a big man would be in. He was pretty much camped inside the lane. He didn't do that much. You hate to say anything because he didn't really play well against Northwestern, but he was inside more than he has been so far today. And we haven't called his name a lot this afternoon. 9 seconds to go. The Braves get it back, then throw it away. 6 seconds to go. Flory with it. Takes the three-pointer. Rebound with no time left. And the Braves will go to the locker room with a 34-33 lead. They held it. But they've got to hold it for another 20 minutes. Bradley leading 34-33 at halftime. Donald Powell, the leading scorer for the Braves, with 12 points. And Mike Flory, who folks around here probably never heard of before today, with 18. Now let's talk a little bit about how he's getting open so often. This is a piece of equipment that Stan Albeck uses to diagram plays with, and Lee's going to try and show us how this is working. As you mentioned, there isn't a three-point line, but Stan knows where it is. Bradley in a 2-3 zone. Marquette's wingman is setting down. They're tossing the ball down here, getting the zone to collapse down low. Then they're firing the ball back here, and before the zone can come back out fully, Flory is hitting that three, and that's how he's getting open. He's hitting, and this winds up. Well, no, that's Flory. Oh, that's the ball there. There's the ball. Okay, and that's how he's been burning him. What does he have? 18 in the first half. So okay, it's ironic that the three-point is what's kind of burning Bradley, because Bob Duquette doesn't really have that in the game plan. He doesn't worry about it. In fact, I asked him about it, and he said, we just don't worry about it. It's not in our plan. So far, it hasn't hurt Bradley, though. They're on top 34-33. And now, let's take a break and hear from our friends from Bradley University.
The effects of the campaign for Bradley are quite apparent to students like myself. Through gifts from AT&T, we have what's now called the Dorm of the Future. With personal computers in each one of the dorm rooms, we have access to the university's main computer network. I know I personally have one in my room, and it's a tremendous help when it comes to my classes. The university recognizes not only the need for new technology, but also for the fine and performing arts. Through the Dine Music Center, through campaign contributions, has enabled us students to be exposed to and to study the fine arts. Our opportunities increased on November 6th when Bradley broke ground for the new Hoyser Ice Center. I know students, and not just students, enjoyed Dr. Richard Thomas and Dana Harrahue when they taught on campus. And as I understand it, it was made possible through the Ivan Endowed Lecture Series. We also benefit from the $2.5 million in scholarships which have been donated to the campaign since its start. I hope this is only the beginning.
The campaign for Bradley. Excellence today and tomorrow.
Today is the semester graduation for Bradley University, and after 5 years at Bradley as an assistant, Rudy Keeling graduated and moved on himself. Mark Strauss talked to him before the game.
In the past, when we've talked to Rudy Keeling, it's always been about Bradley, but not tonight. Rudy is now an assistant coach with Marquette. Welcome.
Thank you.
How do you like Milwaukee?
I like it. It's a nice town.
You, of course, were here for a number of years and coached at Bergen, and I know you didn't want to leave. You felt you could have coached this team, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to be a head coach, and I would have liked to coach this team. I thought it was a ready-made team for me, but that wasn't to be, so, you know, I'm in a very good situation now, and hopefully I can go from there to a head coaching job.
I know everybody wonders when you come back to the town where you got started, if there are some mixed emotions if you look over to that other bench.
Yeah, there are. You know, those kids are kids I recruited, and, you know, they're kids that I've grown very fond of. So for me to have to go out and try and think of a way to beat them and to have to play against them and root against them is a little strange.
So your involvement as a top assistant for Bob Duquette involves what?
Well, it involves recruiting and, you know, primarily recruiting because we think we need to bring in talent to get us into the top 20 on a regular basis. And then a lot of on-the-floor coaching. You know, you'll see that the three of us, Fred Hill being the other, do a lot of the coaching, and, you know, it's a good situation.
And I hear that the name Bradley comes up when you talk to other recruits now.
Yeah, it does, you know, and it's a little bit different, but, you know, we enjoy the whole thing, you know.
What do coaches say to kids who are being recruited by other good schools in order to get them to come to their school?
Well, I think that primarily when you recruit a young man, you have to tell them what your school can offer, but also you have to let them know that they can feel at home. And we try and sell a family atmosphere. We try and sell the city of Milwaukee, and we try to sell our players. And I think that, you know, in the long run is what a player is looking for, someplace where he'll feel comfortable.
Rudy, I think everyone will always think you're part of the Bradley family. Thanks for joining us here.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll be back with the halftime statistics in just a minute. Welcome back to Carver Arena, where Bradley leads after the first half of play, 34-33. And let's take a look at the first half statistics. The Braves shooting only 39% from the field, but so is Marquette.
And the interesting thing, Mark, if you take away Mike Flory, 7 for 10 from the field, Marquette's only shooting 22%.
And look at the rebounds, Lee. 25 for Bradley, 14 for Marquette. So for the second straight week, Bradley has improved in rebounds.
Well, Mo McCone said they were as good as Marquette inside. I think maybe they're proving that they're a little better.
Now a look at the individual statistics for the Braves and the Warriors. Bradley being led by Donald Powell with 18. Percy Hawkins with 8. Luke Jackson with 6. And nobody in desperate foul trouble yet. And for Marquette, we talked about Mike Flory, who has 18 points for the Warriors. But outside of him, we haven't called anyone's name very much this afternoon, because the other supporting cast members, David Boone with 4, Tony Smith with 4, Michael Sims with 3, haven't made much of an impression.
Now, and Tom Copa is 0 for 3 from the field. He was 0 for 4 against Northwestern the other night. He was 0 for 3 in the first half in that game, too. He's having a kind of a tough string of games here.
We were talking while we were on the commercial break about Flory and how lucky they are to have him doing so well today. He's 7 of 10 from the field, but without him, they're awful.
22%, as we mentioned earlier. They are 4 of 18 from the field if you take away Flory. And the Bradley zone has kind of let him get some of his shots. So we might see Bradley go to a man-to-man. The thing they need to keep up, no matter what defense they're in, keep up their defensive intensity, because they've been very intense and made a lot of offense out of their defense. I want to remind everybody to make sure and tune in to News 25 at 6. Kelly Morgan will have news. Kathy Wyman's weather. Paul Wappel will sit in and do the sports. And more reason why. News 25 is the team Central Illinois depends on.
But for the moment, the Braves are the team Central Illinois is depending on to hold that 1-point lead, 34-33. And Bradley will have the ball to start this second half. Dan Albeck sets his Coke can on our table, which means he's ready to go. And here go the Braves. Manuel will start at the point with Trimpe, Hawkins, Howell, and Luke Jackson. This is Trimpe in front of his own bench. Works it out top.
Marquette in that man-to-man again, right in their face.
Hawkins with the jumper. Draws iron. Trimpe misses on the rebound. Boone went up and down, and it wasn't called.
Trevor didn't have any kind of position at all. What is that?
Well, they got it back anyway. Smith and Sims apparently reciting something between them, and Sims took his mind off the dribble. Just underway in the second half. No one's put any points on the board, so the Braves still lead 34-33. Fans just settling back into their seats, and Rock Buckland tries to get them out of it. Hawkins at the foul line to Trimpe, open for the three, didn't take it. And now Manuel holds up a clenched fist indicating a set play. The Braves put it in motion. He's watched by Sims.
Watch for Hawk cutting through.
Ball off the backboard, and Marquette comes away with it. Michael pops Sims to Flory, who has 18, and he throws it away. And the Braves get it back. So the teams exchange turnovers. Marquette's already turned it over twice in this half. They had 10 turnovers in the first half, so that gives them a dozen for the ball game.
Both of these teams coming out about as cold as the floor here with the ice underneath here in the second half. Really doing too much of anything.
Percy Hawkins inside lays it in. The Hawks came into the ball game shooting 52%. But if you exclude his three-point attempts and only count those inside the three-point line, he was shooting a sizzling 68%. And speaking of sizzling, Flory has 20 points. Hawk saves it. Eludes the photographers and gets it to Trimpe. Now to Jackson. 8 points for Luke. That ties a career high, which he had last week against Northern Illinois. He's sure to break that, and the Braves with a 3-point lead. Batted away. Boone misses. Sims with the basket. That cuts it to one again. And Pop Sims, who's averaging over 17 points a game, has only 5 so far. Powell up in a crowd, drew the foul. And you can take your pick as to who fouled him. They both did. David Boone will be charged with it, his third.
Last time down the floor, we saw Boone get the ball underneath the basket. That's just about where he's best. We saw him against Northwestern the other night. He gets the ball so deep, he is almost out of bounds, but he can still score from there. A lot of reverse layups and spin moves down there.
He's a very talented athlete. But he's in a little bit of foul trouble because there are 17 minutes, 42 seconds to play in the ball game, and he's got 3 fouls. Here's Donald Powell at the line. And he's good on the first. Donald at the line with his 9th free throw attempt of the day. And it's good. He's only missed one. Sims up top. Sims has a three-pointer, doesn't take it. They do not want that three-point shot.
Bradley back in the 2-3.
Ball stolen away, and here comes Luke Jackson. Ahead to Hawkins. Look out. He has a dozen.
Awfully good defensive help there. I couldn't see who got the hand on the ball, but somebody took a step and knocked the ball away, created that.
Braves lead by 5. Here's Reeder with the turnaround, and he cans it. It's the third charging call against Percy Hawkins, and Stan Albeck nearly threw his can of soda out on the floor. He didn't hit anybody, but he spilled it all over the place. There's the play. And I think Stan Albeck had a good reason to blow up.
I had to duck. He whirled around with that Diet Coke can, and I thought I was going to see a lot of that.
We're going to need helmets over here. Disarm that guy.
Take the whistle from the ref.
Hawkins with 3 fouls, all on the offensive end. It's a 3-point game. Sims drives to Ellenson up top. Smith. 16-20 to play in the ball game. Sims one-on-one with the Hawk. Nice move. He earned those 2, and he has 7 points. Ball batted away. Last touch by John Ellenson of Marquette. One thing you can say about the Warriors, besides their great defense, they're great students. The Marquette program has graduated 80% of its players over the years. Crimpy with a 3-pointer that's no good. The Braves can't pull down the rebound, and Marquette can take the lead for the first time in a long time. Sims runs into Manuel, no call. Both coaches want one. Here's Flory outside the line, and finally a whistle. No whistle. And a traveling call on Marquette.
How can you call a foul on Hawk when he doesn't touch anybody, and then Anthony Manuel gets knocked through the wood on the floor and nothing? It's got to be a foul on somebody.
So now the officials have both coaches mad at him. And the only place they're safe is at the half-court line.
No, because I'm mad at him too.
Play is 42, Marquette 41, 15.5 minutes to play. This is Manuel inside to Hawkins, and the foul's on Ellenson.
Hawk again trying to take the ball to the basket. They don't want him to do that. They're going to either foul him or try and pick up a foul any way they can to keep him from taking it to the hoop.
Incidentally, that's the 14th foul on Marquette. Crimpy's wide open. He'll take it. A 3-pointer. Bang.
Boom.
45-41. 5 points for Manuel. New 45 seconds. 15 minutes, 3 seconds to play in the game. Bradley by 4 over Marquette. A year ago, this team was 19 up and 11 down. And one of those losses was to the Braves. Boone to Sims, guarded by Manuel. Bounces to Flory, goes up in a crowd, has it blocked away by Powell, but out of bounds. We have a timeout on the floor with 14:47 to play. It's Bradley 45 and Marquette 40. Our next broadcast of Bradley basketball will be Monday from Evansville, Indiana, against the Evansville Purple Aces. We'll see you that night at 7:30 right here on WEEK. There you see Rudy Keeling now trying to figure out how to beat the Braves instead of how to help them win.
Rudy coached against me when I was playing grade school basketball here in Peoria. He coached St. Thomas and I coached St. Bernard's, and he had a knack for getting good players then. He had a guy 6'1" in 7th grade, and I was 5'5" trying to guard him. Forget it.
We're back underway. And here's Marquette with the ball, trailing by 4. Ellenson, number 4 in the game, outside to Pop Sims, then to Flory, who's the high man for this club. Sims wanted to shoot. Ellenson does, blocked by Luke Jackson, blocked by Donald Powell. There he is, Hector the rejector.
Ellison did a good job. The zone got spread, and he split it, took it to the lane, but he didn't count on that young man being there.
14:23 to play. Marquette still with the ball. Trying to break across the plane to the goal. And Boone is fouled as he goes up. So they still haven't got their shot off. Manuel charged with the foul, his second. And that's only the Braves' second team foul of this half. Boone at the line, where he's shooting 81%. This is last year's Marquette most valuable player. In fact, not only did he lead the team in scoring, but he was 9th in the country in rebounding. And only two guys back this year had more rebounds than he did last year. Maybe David Robinson and Houston's Greg Anderson. So he's one of the tops in the country. Bradley's kept him pretty quiet. Now it's ripped off by Sims from Manuel, and Sims gets the foul with the ball. That's his second. And Marquette now very close. Well, they had 14 fouls on the board before, but they've changed that, so Jackson misses the shot. And here comes Sims, racing up the floor. I think Luke had some help missing that one. Three-pointer. 23 points for him. Mike Flory is red hot, and Marquette now leads the ball game 46-45. Swatted away. Hawkins wide open. Braves back on top. 14 for Hershey Hawkins. Good pick by Trevor there. Hawk cut back out. A lot of these plays that you're seeing were designed for George Gervin and Michael Jordan, too. Here come the Braves. Blind pass and a foul on Marquette. John Ellenson gets the worst of it. Dan wants continuation. He'd like to see that basket count. Now, would that have even counted in the NBA? I don't think so. Good Manuel. Boone picked it off. Bradley leads 47-46. A bounce pass to Tony Reeder, blocked by Powell again. A big game for the kids from Oklahoma, and here comes Bradley. Manuel almost lost the ball. Cross court to Hawkins, but he walked. Braves a little out of control. That brings Tom Copa back into the ball game for Marquette. Reeder checks out. Bob Duquette doing a little juggling. I think the last few times down, you see why Anthony Manuel hasn't been playing. He turns the ball over a little bit more than Bradley wants him to. Even when there's not pressure, he saw it. Boone inside, and Luke Jackson is called with a foul. And they'll count the basket, giving Marquette a 1-point lead, 48-47.
His third, 3 on Luke.
If you watch real closely, you see why David Boone's so good under the basket. He'll just grab the guy in front of him and hook him, come back around. He hooked him that time. Got away with it, though. Good move, then. Dan Albeck makes the move, brings Gary Thomas into the ball game for Luke Jackson, who now has 3 fouls. He wants to save him for crunch time. And David Boone steps up to the line. Perfect on the day, 4 for 4, make it 5 for 5. He gets a 3-point play out of the trip, and it's 49-47 in favor of Marquette with 12:20 to play in the ball game. Sims on the steal, then he rolls it up court, loses, turns, and hits. He just got that basket by the skin of his teeth. Anthony Manuel needs to take extra care of the ball because Sims' hands are so quick on defense. He's going for another steal. Thomas to Trippy. Flory almost ripped it off. 3-pointer. Got it. 51-50. That cut the lead from 4 to 1. And Hawkins with 17 points. Once again, Copa way outside. The big man has not played a big part in this ball game. Who's he trying to fool with that fake? Stolen by Hawkins, but out of bounds. Copa, while he's a pretty good basketball player, might have a future in the National Football League. The Dallas Cowboys are interested in him. In fact, they say they might draft him in the spring. He was a great tight end at Coon Rapids High School in Minnesota, where he was twice named All-State and once All-American.
They need the help. Boy, do they need the help.
He could probably catch a football one-handed. He's so large. Now they throw it away. Here comes Manuel. Braves can take the lead. They trail by one. Hawkins doesn't have the shot. Whistle inside against the Warriors as Powell went to the hoop. No basket. And Copa is charged with his second foul. So he's been trouble for Marquette whenever he stepped out on the floor so far. Very inconsistent in the last couple of games.
Donald doesn't have the bulk inside, but we saw it last week against Northern Illinois. He's so quick inside. He's so much quicker than a lot of these big guys. Good pick.
Three-pointer. And they won't give it to him. They won't give it to him. They're counting it as 2 points. Dan Albeck can't believe it. Better grab that coach. Bradley with a 1-point lead, and maybe we can get a replay to see where Trevor Trippy was standing. And now the Braves get it back. And Stan Albeck continues to negotiate for that 3-point bucket. The Braves better not forget about playing defense. Marquette calls timeout. We'll see. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Carver Arena, and the controversy continues. Did Trevor Trippy take a three-pointer, or did he? Well, let's see for ourselves. This is Hawkins with the ball. Makes the pass. Let's stay with it, and we'll see where those feet are. Is he standing on the line? No, that was a 3-point basket.
He's 6 inches behind the line at least.
The referees missed it. The Braves only get 2, and Bradley lost the point. And don't forget that later on. 10 minutes, 35 seconds to play. Bradley 52 and Marquette 51. And we're ready to go.
Well, Mark, we saw the officials miss a couple of those against Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, and I could understand it with 2 officials, but with 3, I mean, they might mistake it with the 3-point line for the NBA, but somebody's got to be watching that. That was so obvious.
Albeck contends that with the NBA 3-point line out there, it gets a little bit confusing. One's red, one's white, but in the heat of the battle, maybe they forget. Maybe they get confused. And he says, perhaps that other line could come up off the floor. And that way, there could not be any confusion.
No.
Meanwhile, the Braves hold on to the ball and will inbound in front of the Bradley bench to Anthony Manuel.
My dad tells a story about a guy, a farmer who had 2 horses, and they were just alike, couldn't tell them apart except one was white and one was brown. That's about the same difference there. Got to watch it.
Hawkins, short. Thomas rebound. Copa touched it last. Bradley still has the ball. Thomas up top to Manuel. Sims on him. Here's Trippy with it. Holds over the head. Back to Manuel. Now drives to the baseline. Boone all over it. Sims picked him up. Braves a little more patient now. They have a 1-point lead with 9:43 to go. Hawkins couldn't hold on. The pass way ahead of him. And Marquette comes back the other way. Ball off Trippy's foot and out of bounds, and for some reason, Trevor Trippy's legs act like magnets to the basketball. Twice today and twice last week, we've seen schoolyard plays at his expense as the opposition throws it off his legs so they can't get anything going. Here's Flory, long jump, got it. And with those 2, Marquette's back on top by a point. All the way, Manuel makes the layup.
That's the kind of a play where the coach says, don't. Good job.
Braves by a digit with 9 minutes to play. And we get get a whistle and a call away from the ball against Jerry Thomas, who was holding on inside to David Boone. Now, JT can't push back. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in there. I'm not sure who started it, but they caught JT doing it. Manuel slaps it out of bounds. Bob Marquette looking for the foul there. Doesn't get one. Pops in scratching his head. He's not sure what happened there. Tom Copa standing in no man's land. Certainly not his. So he gives it up to Sims. Now Copa's alone again, and this time has it blocked away. 3-on-1 break. Here comes Bradley, and Manuel dropped the ball. Hawkins. Boy, they made garbage smell like a rose that time. Donald Powell with a great defense at the other end, starting that one with the block. Copa got behind him, but he still blocked him. Not the prettiest play in the world. And now another whistle away from the ball. This time it's against Marquette's Tony Reeder. 56-53. Bradley on top. That's Reeder's second foul. And the 15th foul. Make it the 16th foul against Marquette. Hawkins open for the shot. They close on him. Powell lays it in. It's good at Townsend, and he was fouled on the play. You're going to see it. Donald Powell's quickness. Well, Copa looked like he might have had position. I don't know. I'm not going to argue. 58-53. 8 minutes to play in the ball game, and Bradley leads by 5 with their best free throw shooter at the line, and he is good. And Donald Powell with 17 points. That's 3 below his average. The Braves up by 6. Mo told us the other night, if Bradley gets the ball working in their patterns against Marquette's man-to-man, Marquette's going to have trouble. Maybe we're seeing some of that now. Sims goes to the basket, and Trevor Trippy is in the way. That's his third, so he has 3, and Luke Jackson has 3. Jackson's on the bench, they're saving him. And Michael Sims up at the foul line, shooting 84% for the year. Had a big night against Wisconsin earlier this year when he scored 21 in the season opener. A year ago, he only had 7 against the Braves in Milwaukee. This would cut it to a 4-point game. We're going to see what Marquette really has down deep now. Actually, this is their first away game. They played on the road at Northwestern, but at the game, we realized that the crowd was partisan Marquette by a long shot. And speaking of a long shot, a three-pointer by Anthony Manuel. And that's just what the doctor ordered. He has 10, and the Braves are 3 out of 8 from three-point range. Boone. Manuel on the rebound. Braves lead by 7 with 7 minutes to play. Trippy wide open. Manuel. Three-pointer. Stanley's giving him some help on the sideline. He's going up with a three-point every time now. He already has a visual instruction for the three-point play. He just puts 2 arms up in the air and says, go for it. He doesn't even have to say anything. Here come the Braves, a three-pointer. Rebound Marquette. 62-55, 6.5 to go. They had Thomas down low. Fan wanted to break. Didn't see him. And a whistle away from the ball against Trevor Trippy, and that would be his fourth.
Johnson.
The last 2 fouls on Trevor. He's hanging his head. He knows he should
Foul on Trippy.
block with the body, but he's trying to help out in the middle as the man's cutting through.
And in a tight ball game, they really need Trippy. He's one of their best defensive players, and since he has 4 fouls, he'll take a seat, and Luke Jackson will check back into the game, and he has 3 fouls.
Well, I asked Stanley who was going to get the call against Boone in the man-to-man, and he kind of looked at me like he was shocked. Like, what kind of a question is that? Of course it'll be Trevor. He's our best defensive player.
Marquette trying to cut into a 7-point Bradley lead. Sims does it from the 3-point line, but doesn't drop it. 6 minutes to play now. And Bradley wants a timeout. It's the Braves 62 and Marquette 55. Fasten your seatbelts and don't go away. There's the score and the time remaining. And Bradley being told exactly what to do with that 6 minutes and 5 minutes and 53 seconds they've got to work with.
Stanley's giving him little instruction on inbounds plays. They're looking for a way to get Hawk open to the basket there.
They're always looking for a way to get Hawkins open to the basket.
Wouldn't you?
So the Braves send out Manuel, Hawkins, Jackson, Thomas, Powell, Marquette, with Roman Mueller in the ball game, a 7-footer, perhaps trying to take that dominance away from the boards that the Braves have held this afternoon, and Bradley throws it away. And look at Stan Olbeck, about to tear some of that brand new permanent right out.
I don't know if he's mad about the turnover or just because he almost got hit in the head with a ball. He wasn't watching what was going on. He was walking down the sideline, almost got picked off.
Marquette has 1.
5.5 to play. This is Pop Sims. Doesn't pop. Tony Smith does. Partially blocked. Fails to draw iron. And here comes Manuel ahead to Hawkins on the run. Pulls up. Stolen by Sims. They go back the other way. Sims wants the hoop. He has it.
Doggone. Hawk had JT and Luke open underneath on the break. Couldn't get the ball to him.
The Bradley lead cut to 5. Manuel running the club now with Trevor in foul trouble and on the bench.
Marquette in their 1-2-2 zone now. We're going to have to be careful that it passes out top because if Sims picks it off, there's nobody back.
3-pointer. They didn't miss that one. Stan Olbeck would. He had his hands up before it went in the bucket. And the Braves now up by 8, 65-57.
Bradley in their 2-3 zone. I dare you to hit from here.
I double dare you.
Well, let's see.
Thomas saves it. Flory picks it off. Braves lead. Cut to 6. Sims is fouled on the play by Manuel. That's his third, so the Braves now with 3 players in foul trouble. Prempey with 4. Jackson with 3. And here's the third on Anthony.
Yeah, Sims beat him. If you remember earlier, though, that play got no call.
Both teams are in the bonus.
Anthony's hustling. He's trying. He's getting better. Playing better off the bench than he was as a starter. I think maybe a lot of pressure on him to beat Jimmy West, to be that good, and he's not. He's got to work at it. Jimmy West played for 3 years to get to the level that he was last year.
Sims misses, so the foul doesn't hurt the Braves for now. 4:25 to play. Trippy getting set to check back in for the Braves at the next chance. And Bradley up court with a 6-point lead, 65-59. This is Jerry Thomas outside, and Manuel guarded by Mike Flory. Hawk wanted that 3-pointer. Manuel inside to Jackson for the layup that just didn't go in. Here comes Trevor back into the ball game with 4 fouls. And he'll
replace Gary Thomas on the floor. 3 minutes and 57 seconds to go. A really good job by Bradley working the ball around, being patient, waiting. Anthony penetrating, drawing some people to him, and dishing the ball off. That's 9 for Jackson, and in his brief career, it's his best as a Bradley Brave. I believe that's the first free throw he's hit this year. And it's the only one. 1 for 5. A 7-point lead with 3:50 to play for Bradley. Here's Flory. Double teamed. And once again, Trevor Trimpey plays football. Oh, soccer, mate. Soccer. Sims. Oh. It's a 3-point basket, says the official. 66-62, the lead cuts to 4. Well, he didn't show that kind of shooting range the other night. Powell inside in the crowd. Jackson with a rebound. 11 for Luke. 68-62, Braves by a half dozen with 3:10 to play. Remember, that's only 2 shots. And here's a 3-point try by Flory. That brings David Boone into the ball game for Roman Mueller, who never touched the ball. But he is big. He grew 7 inches 1 year in high school. So I guess at that point he knew that he'd either have to play basketball or become a window washer. You get a job changing light bulbs in the street lights. Powell. Donald's gone cold. Wide open Reeder, lays it up, spills off the rim, but he's fouled in the play. Luke had position on him, but I think he got him with the hand. And that's 4 on Luke.
Luke has 4.
So Marquette with a chance to pick up points at the most crucial of times when the clock isn't running any off. You can catch up in a hurry like that. Reeder looks a little bit like Magic Johnson, doesn't he, in the face? I guess it was real early when I got here this morning. I thought he looked like Magic Johnson. A 4-point lead for Bradley with 2.5 to play. Sims steals. Manuel steals it back, but he's called for the foul. And slowly, Marquette is inching back into the picture. Manuel now has 4 fouls, and the Braves, 3 of them out there, can't afford to be charged with another. And Hawkins and Thomas have 3 apiece. Marquette with Boone, Copa, and Ellenson all at 3. Now Sims has 19 points. More importantly, he can bring Marquette within 2. He does. 2:29 to play, and Marquette puts the heat on. Manuel double team, races around it. To Hawkins. Picked up, and then Powell is fouled from behind by David Boone, and that's his 4th. Marquette got in some foul trouble against Northwestern the other night. Didn't have much choice rather than to stay back in his zone. So Powell will step up there and see what he can do. Need we say they are important. Isaac shoots it, misses it. Marquette can tie the ball game or take the lead with a 3-pointer. The folks rally around the Bradley defense.
minutes remaining.
Flory almost had the 5-second call, so he threw it off Trippy's leg. A minute 50 to play. And they get a new 45. Flory wide open, doesn't take it. Hawkins picked him up. Sims with the ball. Manuel guards him. Cross towards the Flory. Now to Boone. Powell on him. Outside Sims. 25 on the shot clock. Inside Reeder goes up. Batted away. Smith ties it. With a minute 20 to play, it's 68-68. And Bradley wants a timeout. A minute 12 to go, and Bradley and Marquette are tied at 68 apiece. Frank Glenn will hustle over to the Bradley huddle and will attempt to give you a look at what Stan Albeck is planning for these final 72 seconds. Well, Mike Flory has kind of mixed up what they want to do on defense. His shooting in the first half has forced Bradley to go out and cover him in their zone, and it leaves it weak in the middle. We saw there they got a weak side rebound and got the basket to tie. I'm not sure that we'll pick anything up from this, but the Braves will have the ball when they come out of the timeout. And there is what they're doing on the other side of the floor, courtesy of Bud Wilson, one of our floor-level photographers. You look right over Rudy Keeling's shoulder, and Bob Duquette does a little artwork. It's not pretty. We'll see if it works. Our other photographers today, Rick Klein and Mark Lucas. Our director, Brad Longwell. Our producer, Steve Shaw. Our assistant director, John Crawford. Mark Plesner and Steve Smith are our technical directors. Chris Toffanelli and Kevin Shaw helping us out today, as are Dick Hillig and Sweet Nelson. Terry Cole keeping the stats. Tom Smith with the graphics. And we have a minute 12 to go and a 68-68 ball game at Carver Arena. Mark, one thing you can bet, both coaches are telling the teams, don't turn the ball over. Make good passes. Marquette turned the ball over 2 or 3 times in the final minutes at Northwestern. That cost them the game. Anthony Manuel's going to have to be careful with the ball out here against Pop Sims because we've seen him take it away from him today. Everybody here on their feet. And I presume at home you're on the edge of your seat. Here's Manuel. Braves with the ball. Hawkins. 24 points, and those give Bradley a 2-point cushion with a minute to play. Not one person is sitting down, and Stan Albeck included. About a 19-point difference between the shot clock and the big clock. 45 seconds to play. Michael Sims, no good. Flory lays it in. We're tied again with 36 seconds. So the shot clock has been turned off. The game is tied. Bradley checking on their timeout, see how many they have left. And the Braves used one of them with 25 seconds to go. And Stan Albeck grabs that piece of equipment we showed you at halftime, on which he diagrams plays, and he's going to use it. Maybe better than we did. I hope better than we did. Oh, there's no question about that. I was driving back from Northwestern the other night with Mo. Mo's worked with Stan in the NBA, and this is where Stanley's genius, his coaching genius, comes out. We were listening to an NBA game on the radio, and Mo mentioned the fact that this is where he really shines. He'll set up a play just off the top of his head, and they always got a good shot. They've always got a good shot. Maybe once or twice a season, Mo said, that they didn't get a good shot off a play that Stan wrote up. And naturally, the one thing you don't want to give Marquette the chance to do is win the ball game, which means you don't want them to get that shot. So undoubtedly, Stan will hold out for one. And I don't think today, and now he cares if it's worth 1, 2, 3, or 10. He just wants to make sure it's the last one, and that the Braves don't let Marquette have a chance to win it and get their hands on the ball one more time. Well, if assistant Marty Gillespie is right, Bradley still has a timeout left, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him pass the ball around, maybe come back and talk it over again, and not allow Marquette to get that chance, because if they steal the ball with 20 or 15 seconds left, Marquette would have a chance to win the game, and I'll be surprised if Hershey Hawkins doesn't get the ball. We still have to name a North Point Plaza Video player of the game. Well, we've got a couple of possibilities. Hershey came back from an off night against Northern. He was 5 for 15 from the field. He has 24 points now. Donald Powell has 17 and has done an outstanding job defensively with 5 blocked shots as well. So we'll mull it over here. Let's go with Donald. Donald Powell, our North Point Plaza Video player of the game. 25 seconds to go, and the game is tied. Bradley and Marquette at 70 each. Let's watch. 1-2-2 zone for Marquette. 12 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 7 seconds, timeout. You called it. The Braves use it. And we'll be right back with the end of this ball game.
No, and the key word is light.
You know, it kind of makes you wonder. He wasn't open, look inside and whatever we could get to try to take the best shot. We could just give a shot. That was the most important. And Hawk read it perfectly and cut up the lane, got wide open. That was great.
And then in the zone, we ran zone at the very end.